Good evening, everybody. This is Vivian, and today is Thursday. It is August the 27th, so it's almost over. It's like 4 more days. And so we'll be at the end of the week tomorrow. It's Friday again. It's going to be Friday again. Oh, wow. Okay, so last night we talked about regret. It doesn't serve you. It really doesn't, because we just need to let it go. It's one of those things that you can't do anything about, because usually regret is related to something, a past event, right? So if it's past, nothing you can do about it. Let it go. All right. So tonight we're talking about falling apart. I know you're getting this negative thought in your head, but just wait. Okay, here we go. Sometimes we have to fall apart in order to rebuild with a stronger foundation. It's never too late to be who you want to be and live a life that you are proud of, even if that means beginning again. And you can always begin again. See, you was thinking something negative. I know, but it's not. And I will go further into that in a minute. Okay, so let me grab my notes. Okay, if this thing will move out of my way, I'll be good. Okay, let's do this. All right, so because I read this book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I had to reread it because I had to figure out, because I've been reading all these different books, right? I had to figure out which chapter that all this stuff was in, because I remembered. I said, oh, this is perfect for this topic. So I need to go back and look at this chapter. So I found it. All right. So usually in our zest to put our best face forward, sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to fall apart. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by falling apart as I go further, right? I know you're probably saying to yourself, how could she say that? She's supposed to be doing positive stuff, right? Right? I know that's what you're thinking, but let's talk about it. All right. Have you ever read the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza? If you haven't, pick it up. Go get it, because it will explain everything. This book was suggested to me by one of my mentors online, Wesley in his Overnight Millionaire program. And I read this book and it just blew my mind. I mean, some of the concepts that Dr. Joe talks about, and it's just, it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense, but then you have to read it several times, because he is a doctor. So sometimes he goes into these scientific things, and you kind of get a little confused, and then you go back and you read it again and say, oh, well, that's not confusing. But this one, it actually makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. Now, it talks about getting rid of the old you, pretty much, becoming no one and no thing. Because we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Let's say that again. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, not the other way around. So technically, what you have to do is to fall apart before you can put yourself back together again. Now, we've been programmed to be what society wants us to be, right? We don't allow ourselves to feel everything. Sometimes you have to feel everything, because you got to identify those things. We don't feel everything. We don't acknowledge it. And we need to feel them, and so that we can acknowledge it and then have the strength to discard them. And a lot of the feelings that we have, a lot of the emotions that we carry around don't really serve us. They don't do anything for us except make our lives miserable. So you have to examine who you really want to be. Break free of that status quo and change yourself into the person that you want to be. You can use a lot of different tricks and tools to do that. I'm always talking about meditation, affirmations, visualization, and really take a deep dive into looking into yourself. Find out who you really are. Now, Dr. Joe talks about pruning away the habit of being yourself. Now, he says that the steps to doing that is recognizing, then admitting, and declaring, followed by surrendering. So the surrendering part is the falling apart part, right? So you recognize, what you do is you recognize the problem. You recognize the problem, you name it, so that you can have power over it. And then you can begin to change it. If you don't ever recognize it, if you don't never acknowledge it, then how are you going to change it? Sometimes we get into these personal development programs and people get the misguided notion that they need to be 100% happy, joy all the time. That's definitely not true. That's not true. You have to examine all of those things, all of those emotions that make up your DNA, that make you, even the bad ones. Because the bad ones are the ones that you're trying to get rid of. And if you never acknowledge them, if you never identify them, how are you going to get rid of them? You can't. So here's the deal. Write stuff down. Always write it down. Because don't try to just identify them and remember them. Because sometimes that really doesn't work. Get you a journal, get you a piece of paper, whatever it is you have to do, and write it down. Ask yourself some hard questions. Sometimes, we're trying to think of these things in our heads, and then later on we forget what we were thinking. It happens, right? And sometimes it's too much to try to remember all the stuff that we were thinking. And it's ineffective to do that. Write it down so that you can recognize your issues. Ask yourself some hard questions. What emotions am I feeling? What emotions are really holding me back? What are those emotions? So you're going to choose at least one of those emotions to, as Dr. Dispenza says, unmemorize. So preferably it's an emotion that doesn't serve you, whatever it is that doesn't serve you. So think about this. Does it serve you now? Has it ever served you in the past? And will it serve you in your future? If the answer to all three of those things is no, we need to start getting rid of it. Now, there's several emotions. And we have like tons of those things, right? So like insecurity, sadness, hatred, anxiety, anger, guilt, fear, depression, unworthiness, and of course the list goes on, right? A lot of these emotions, though, feed off of each other. They're kind of linked together. Dr. Joe says, pick one emotion at a time to work with because all of them are typically linked. For example, when you're angry, you're frustrated. When you're frustrated, you hate. And when you hate, you judge. And when you judge, you're envious. When you're envious, you're insecure, and so on and so forth, right? So where am I going with this? These emotions are just holding you back from falling apart and building your new foundation. The same is true for positive emotions. And I'm gonna read you a little bit out of the book. And it's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, again, by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Now, the positive emotions, it says, the same is true for elevated states of mind and emotions. When you're joyous, you love. When you love, you feel free. When you're free, you're inspired. And when you're inspired, you're creative. And when you're creative, you're adventurous, and so on and so forth. So you see, the same applies to the positive emotions as they do to the negative ones. But you're trying to get rid of the negative ones, right? You're trying to take control of your body or your emotions so that these things aren't taking control of you and making you miss life. Miss those joyous moments that you can have. So allow yourself to fall apart. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes you have to fall apart to create the best version of you. You have to build that positive foundation, but in order to do that, you got to get rid of the negative ones, or at least take control of those negative ones so that you can fall apart, put yourself back, and rebuild yourself to the best version of you can. Okay? All right. So, I always end these things in gratitude, and I am thankful for my children and grandchildren. I am thankful for life, health, and strength. I am thankful for my mentors who inspire me every day. I am thankful that yesterday I signed 2 new people to my business, and today I had four more people contact me saying that they wanted to get started. I am thankful that money comes to me easily and effortlessly through multiple sources in increasing quantities on a continuous basis. I am thankful that my business is growing by leaps and bounds. I am thankful for my online and blood families. I am thankful that I have the opportunity to contribute to feed hungry children around the world through my business. I am thankful that my dreams are coming true. And last but certainly not least, I am thankful for you and your continued patronage of my channel. So please, guys, like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you later. And please bring somebody with you next time, all right? So I'll see you tomorrow, but in the meantime, I wish you peace, I wish you love, and I love you guys so much. And don't forget the links down below. Overnight Millionaire Program, MSI program, the link to the book, and I will put the link down there for Dr. Joe's book so that if you want to go read it, you can, or you can just look it up on Amazon yourself. No worries. I'll talk to you later. All right. Have a great one. Bye-bye.